part of your journey, which can take up to 3 whole weeks. You're put into a cramped cage with little light and air, and during these 3 weeks, you're given barely enough food to survive, having to fight with your friends to grab a meal. You're watching some of them die right in front of you, and then you may even have to end up standing on top of their dead bodies. The airflow is minimal, so you struggle for your every breath, and your health is deteriorating day by day. You have to go to the toilet in the same space as you sleep and eat. Just imagine the stench and unhygienic conditions. When you finally reach your destination, you are happy to reach terra firma. You see sunlight, breathe fresh air, and stretch your legs, if they are not broken. But your troubles are just beginning. This is the truth of the live animal exports industry. During the last 30 years, over 150 million sheep have been exported to the Middle East and Southeast Asia to be slaughtered. Every year, tens of thousands of sheep die on board the livestock ships. In 2008 alone, 35,000 sheep died on sea voyages. Some ships, such as the Al Kuwait, are converted oil tankers and therefore offer extremely cramped conditions, and the sheep must travel the whole way in darkness. Even the vessels made specifically for transporting animals, such as the Ocean Shearer, have caused very poor animal welfare conditions. On arrival at their destination, these poor animals are treated very badly. Australia has absolutely no control whatsoever over the handling and slaughter practices in the Middle East. These animals have been witnessed being tied, bound, and thrown into the boots of cars, where they are taken away to have their throats slit for religious festivals. The animals are supposed to be killed in the halal manner. However, recent investigation and video proof have shown that this is not always the case. In the Middle Eastern slaughterhouses, these animals are enduring a death which is both inhumane and painful, something that is not acceptable and quite rightfully illegal in Australia. So, what can we do about it? Well, the only way to ensure that animals are handled humanely is to slaughter them in Australia and export them as chilled and frozen meat. We can choose not to sell them into a situation where they will be subjected to extreme cruelty. This would also stop a lot of unnecessary suffering. Live exports not only exports animals, but also jobs from Australia. If the animals were killed and processed here, there will be more employment created for the Australian people. If the live exports were stopped, these Middle Eastern countries would still have a need for our lamb and would have to buy it either frozen or chilled. Just this week, Australia has stopped exporting cattle to Indonesia due to the cruel and inhumane conditions. This is a step in the right direction. The City of Fremantle have also just voted against live exports. A recent Galaxy poll has shown that 8 out of 10 Australians are against live exports. However, in order to save these animals, people like you and I need to support and back their campaign. Please join the Stop Live Animal Exports organisations to make this a thing of the past.